Sir, please start. है ना because हाँ
लाइव
हो गया लाइट हो गया
मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन दिख रहा है?
हाँ सर प्रेजेंटेशन दिख रहा है
Okay, 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 okay. Dear friends, today we will discuss about our next chapter, residential status. Sorry for bit delay due to few technical issues. Uh, okay, today residential status. What do you mean by residential status? Any idea? Any concept? Any thinking in your mind? Thinking in your mind? Now, try to understand the situation. Suppose this is a home. This is a house. My drawings and my maths are very poor. Okay. In this house, your parents, you, and your brother reside. Okay. Suppose if you, your brothers, and your parents all are earning member, then who will incur the cost of living? Probably your parents will ask something from you, something from brother. Okay. And suppose your uncle resides in London, then can we say that your parent will seek some help from his brother, which is located in London? Is it so? Is it not possible? That means you and your brother are supposed to take responsibility of your monthly expenses. However, the brother, your parents' brother, that is your uncle who resides outside India, may not take such responsibility. Who may not take such responsibility. However, if your brother resides in the, say, you resides in Mumbai and your uncle resides in Kolkata, in that situation, if circumstances permit, then you may, if there is some issues in the family, then you may seek some assistance from your uncle. However, if suppose the person Bill Gates, could you seek any assistance from him for seeking monthly expenses like this? No. Why? Because he is not related to your family, because he is not involved in your family. Can we say that the person who is in the family, we make some compulsion on them to pay certain amount against monthly expenses? Similarly, in the context of taxation, can we similarly in the context of taxation, suppose Indian government required a revenue of 1 lakh crore. Indian government required taxation of rupees 1 lakh crore. Can they ask Mr. Bill Gates, please pay tax to us? Since you are a rich person of the world, please pay certain money in the form of tax to the government of India. No, we cannot compel, we cannot make it compulsory. Our government cannot make it. However, people like us who resides in India, our responsibility is to provide fund to the government of India by way of taxation. That is me, people like you, your parents, those who resides in India have more responsibility to fund this type of revenue to the government of India. Who will take this responsibility is discussed in residential status chapter. Who is liable to pay tax to the Indian government and who is not liable to pay tax on to the Indian government, or who will liable to pay tax on which type of income, we will discuss in this chapter. Got the importance of this chapter. This is very basic residential status we are supposed to discuss. That means our objective of this discussion is to learn how to determine residential status, and number two, what will be the impact of those residential status on your computation of income and your tax liability. First of all, we need to discuss how to determine residential status, and another issue is that how this residential status will impact on your tax liability or your income. Got it? Until now? Now, first, before going into this chapter, we please understand these 4 points. Residential status shall be different for each previous year. That means a person may be a resident in India, may not be a resident in India for forthcoming years or after a couple of years. That means your residential status should be examined for each and every previous year. For example, suppose presently you are in India, you are a resident in India, but after completing your CMA course, you settle down in London. After you're shifting from India to London, your residential status might be changed. That means your residential status is required to be determined each year. It may be differ from year to year basis. It's not like that once you are a resident in India, that means you are always resident in India. It's not like that. In income tax, your residential status is supposed to be examined each and every previous year. Single status for each source of income. What is it? Suppose we know that there are 5 heads of income: salary, BP, HP, CG, and other sources. If you are a resident in India for a particular source of income, then you cannot say that I am non-resident for another source of income. Once you are considered as a resident, in India for your salary income, then obviously you are a resident for business income, you are a resident for your other source income, you are resident for your capital gain income. You cannot say that for the purpose of salary income I am resident, and for remaining income I am a non-resident. It is not possible. It is not possible. If you are a resident for salary income, then you are for resident for all type of your income, all sources of income, you are considered as a resident. Got it? Number third, impact of citizenship. Citizenship and residential status is 2 different issues. Here, residential status, income tax department focused mainly on residential status rather than citizenship. However, in few scenarios, they may focus on citizenship, which we will discuss in our subsequent slides. Country specific. What is this? Is it possible you are a resident in 2 countries at the same time, for the same year? Suppose for the previous year, 2021-22, you are a resident in India. You are a resident in India. Can we say that for the same particular previous year, you may be treated as a resident in UK? Is it possible or not? What is your suggestion? What is your take? Is it possible or not? Is it possible or not? Yes, sir, it is possible. Suppose in our country, say a person shall be treated as a resident in India if he is in India for 182 days or more. Okay. And say for the sake of example, in UK, if a person resides for 100 days in London in UK, then he will be treated as a resident in India. It might be case where you are a resident of both the country. Say you resides 190 days in India and 150 days in London, then you might be a resident for India as well as you might be a resident in UK also for a particular previous year. It might be possible. That means your residential status is a country specific. You at the same in the same year you might be a resident for two countries, but unfortunately it is an hypothetical example. Okay. Now, how to determine residential status? First, we are supposed to discuss about individual. Determination of residential status of an individual. Who will be treated as an individual? We human beings are an individual. Section 6, subsection 1. An individual may be a resident in India or he may be a non-resident in India. First of all, we understand this basic condition. Who will be treated as a resident in India? If you are a resident in India, then you are liable to pay tax more in comparison to a non-resident person. Basic condition. Section 6(1). We are determining residential status of an individual, which is covered under section 6(1). A person, an individual is said to be a resident if he satisfied either of the condition given under section 6(1). If he satisfied any of the condition given under section 6(1), he will be termed as a resident in India. What are the conditions? Section 6(1)(a). First condition. If during the previous year that individual stays 182 days or more in India, he is termed as a resident in India. During the particular previous year for which we are supposed to determine the residential status, if he stayed 182 days or more in India, then he termed as a resident in India. Got it? I think it is very clear. Suppose Mr. X was in India during the previous year 2021-22 for say 200 days. He will be considered as a resident in India for previous year 21-22. Is it clear? Do you have any question, any query? Is it very simple? Condition number 2. Another alternative situation. Section 6(1)(c). During the previous year, he stayed in India for 60 days or more, plus during the 4 preceding previous year, he stays 365 days or more. Then he will be termed as a resident in India. I am taking an example. Suppose Mr. X during the previous year 2021-22 was in India for 200 days. He satisfied condition number A, that is 6(1)(a). He is a resident in India. You are not supposed to examine this another condition. You are not supposed to examine this alternate situation. However, if he was in India during this previous year for say 65 days. If he was in India for 65 days during the previous year 2021-22, then examine further. What you need to find out, you just want to check last 4 years. 1, 2, 3, 4. In this 4 years, how many days he was in India? Last 4 years. Last from which year? Your current previous year is 21-22. Immediately preceding 4 years, that is 2021, 19-20, 18-19, and 17-18. In this 4 years, how many days he was in India? Just find out that one. Suppose if he was in India for say 400 days or say 100 days only. If he was for 400 days, then we can say that he stays in India for 65 days during the previous year 21-22, as well as he stay for 400 days during the 4 preceding previous year. That means he satisfied this part as well as this part. Hence, this person shall be treated as a resident in India. Though he did not stay in India for 182 days, that is not considered. If he satisfied any of the given situation, then he will be treated as a resident in India. What happened if instead of 400 days in last 4 years, he was in India only for 100 days? In this situation, during the current previous year, he stayed in India for 60 days or more. Yes, he was for 65 days. During the last 4 preceding previous year, he was in India for 100 days only. That means he did not stay in India for 365 days or more. That means he fails to satisfy this condition as well as this condition, since he was in India for only for 65 days. Hence, this condition is also not satisfied. That means this fellow, this person in this situation is considered as a non-resident. In this situation, this person, this fellow is considered as a non-resident. Is it clear to you? Is it clear to you? Is it clear to you? Now question arises, how to determine whether he was in India for 65 days or for 200 days or 100 days, how you will determine? In general, people like me, people like you, resides in India, stays in India for entire year. Hardly we visit outside India for couple of days or for few days. If a person have any doubts whether he resides, whether his stay in India for this particular days or number, if you doubt that I am a resident or a non-resident, then your document like passport is much more important. If you visit in foreign country, if you left this country, then a stamp will be there, and when you come back, there is a dated stamp will be there. Those periods shall be excluded. Depending on the passport, you are supposed to, considering your passport record, you are supposed to calculate these number of days you resides in India. Is it clear? Number 2. Be careful. The words are stay. It is not reside. The word used by Income Tax Department is stay. It is not reside. What is the difference between stay and reside? Reside means you are willing to stay. You are willingly in India. Stay means you are physically in India. There is a difference of psychology. The word used are stay in India. Suppose due to some reasons, in general, in the last year, due to corona, international flights was not there, so people stay in India, but they are not residing in India because they are not willing to reside in India, but they stay in India. They may fulfill this condition. However, some relaxation was given by the CBDT afterwards, but this is an example. There is a difference between reside and stay. Got it? Number 2, stay at same place in India is not necessary. The person, Mr. X, first time he visits India on say 1st April 2021. He stay in Mumbai hotel for 31 days. Okay. Then he left India. He again visit to India on 7th of the July 2021. In this time, he was in Kolkata for 93 days. Okay. And again, he left India. He came back in the month of November on say 25th November 2021 and stay at Chennai for 93 days. How many days he was in India during this particular previous year? It is more than 182 days. it is more than 182 days. Henceforth, this fellow is considered as a resident in India, irrespective of the fact that he was not continuously stay in India. The requirement is not for continuous stay in India. It is only stay in India during the particular previous year. It might be continuous stay, it might not be continuous stay. How many number of days he was in India was considered whether it is a continuous or non-continuous. Further, whether it the his stay was in the same city or another city, it hardly issue. The ultimate is his stay in India for how many days during that particular 365 days or 360 days, 366 days. Is it clear? Is it clear? Is it clear? Now, one more thing. What is this? I believe you understand this is the map of southern part of India. This is southern India. Now, suppose here it is Puri, Jagannath Puri. Can we say that this is the cost of the Puri, and when you entered into the sea water, can I say that you are outside India? Can we say that? Here it is the sea beach, Puri. Now you are here. Can we say that you are outside India? What can you think? What is in your mind? What are you thinking? Are you outside India just putting your legs into the sea? Can we say that you are outside India? Dear friends, no, it is not like this. Till few kilometers, nautical miles, till few nautical miles, it is treated as territorial water of India. If your stay was in territorial water of India, then also it is considered as a part of India, and accordingly you will be treated as your stay in India. Be careful. Be careful about all these things. That means if a person in India, suppose here he stay for say 100 days, and in the territorial water of India he was in for another 100 days. Can we say that he is a resident or non-resident? He will be treated as a resident in India, because in India he was during this particular previous year he was in India for 200 days, 100 days on the land and 100 days within territorial water of India. Altogether he is in India for 200 days, and accordingly he is treated as a resident in India. Is it clear to you? Okay. Now I believe section 6 subsection 1 is clear to you. I am repeating again. An individual is considered as a resident in India if one of the two conditions, one of the basic condition is fulfilled. One out of two condition fulfilled. Number one, his stay in India during the particular previous year is for 182 days or more. If this condition is satisfied, he will be treated as a resident. Another condition is that if this one is also satisfied, then he will be treated as a resident in India. During the particular previous year, his stay in India for 60 days or more, and here it is and. In the preceding four preceding previous year, his stay in India for 365 days or more. If this dual condition is also satisfied, then he may be treated. He is also treated as a resident in India. Be careful. Here, these are alternative condition. This one is 1, this one 2. Here the word is or, and for this criteria 60 days or more, there is a plus, that means and. That means for condition number 2, this one is supposed to be satisfied simultaneously. If this is not satisfying simultaneously, you will not treat it as a resident in India. Okay, is it clear? There is one illustration on your screen. Sam came to India first time during the previous year 21-22. During the previous year, he stayed in India for 50 days, 183 days and 153 days. Determine his residential status for the previous year 22-23. What will be his residential status if his stay in India is only for 50 days? Anyone? I believe it is clear to you. In case number 1, he shall be treated as a non-resident. Since he is not satisfying either of the condition mentioned under section 6(1), henceforth he is treated as a non-resident in India. Number 2, since he is in India for 182 days or more, henceforth he is considered as a resident in India. Number 3, 153 days. Can we say that he is satisfying? In this case, no condition, hence he is a non-resident. Here he is satisfying section 6(1)(a), he is a resident. Here we are supposed to examine section 6(1)(a). Do you think he is satisfying this one? No. Then we are supposed to check section 6(1)(c). What is section 6(1)(c)? He should be in India for 60 days or more during the previous year. Yes, he is in India. Plus last 4 preceding previous year. Can we say that he is in India for 365 days or more? He was in India for 0 days. How I derive this 0? He came India first time. He came India first time. That means in the preceding 4 years, he was never in India. He never stayed in India. That means his stay during the last 4 preceding previous year is 0. Henceforth, can we say that section 6(1)(c) is not satisfied? Ultimately, he is treated as a non-resident. Any question? Clear? Great. Now, another. Andy, a British national, comes to India for the first time during 17-18. During the financial year 17-18, 18-19, 19-20, 20-21 and 21-22, he was in India for 55 days, 60 days, 80 days, 160 days and 70 days respectively. Could you help him to whether he is a resident or not resident? Anyone? Anyone? During the previous year 21-22, that means our previous year is 21-22, he is in India for 70 days. That means section 6(1)(a) fulfilled or not? This condition is not fulfilled because as per section 6(1)(a), he should be in India for 182 days or more. He is only for 70 days. That means section 6(1)(a) is not fulfilled. Now we are supposed to examine section 6(1)(c). As per section 6(1)(c), during the previous year, he should be in India for 60 or more days. Yes, he is in India for 60 or more days. Yes, he is in India for 70 days. Plus last 4 preceding previous year, we are required to examine. 4 previous year, 17-18, 18-19, 19-20 and 20-21. He was in India for 55 days, 60 days, 80 days and 160 days. Altogether, it is only 355 days. Section 6(1)(c) what says? Section 61C is saying 60 days plus 365 days. This was satisfied, but this one is not satisfied. Henceforth, this person is a non-resident for previous year 21-22. Any question? Any query? Any question? Any query? Any question? Any query? Great. I think it is clear to all. Now we shift to another one. Exception. These are exception relating to section 61C. There is no exception to rule 61A. This section, that is 182 days or more, do not have any exception. This exception is specifically for section 61C. What is the exception? If an Indian citizen living in India during the previous year for employment purpose or as a member of crew of Indian ship for employment purpose or as a member of crew of an Indian ship, then section 61C is not applicable. That means this type of person is supposed to be satisfied section 61A to become a resident in India. What is saying? Suppose you got a job in USA. You got a job in USA and you joined your USA company on 10th of the July 2021. On 10th July 2021, you joined your job in USA. And during this particular previous year, you never visit to India. How many days you resides in India? How many days you reside? How many days you stay in India? For April, 30 days, plus May, 31 days, for June, 30 days, and for joining job on 10th of the July, you left India on 5th of the July. Ultimately, your stay in India for how many days? It is 96 days. Can we say that you satisfied section 61A, that is 182 days or more? No. Then we are supposed to check whether you are satisfying section 61C. Sir, stop here. Why stop? Since I am living India, I am an Indian citizen. I left India during this particular previous year for my employment, that is for employment purpose in my USA. If these conditions are fulfilled, then you are not supposed to check section 61C. That means this condition is not applicable on you. That means you are treated as a non-resident for this particular previous year. Got it? Any question? Any query till now? Any question? Any query? Someone is saying that can we take hours? You are not required to calculate on hourly basis. Your passport is your evidence. Okay. Someone is saying that I have doubts, sir. Last 4 years will be 18, 19, 19, 20 for assessment year 22-23. Dear friend, this is for assessment year 22-23. It is the what will be the previous year? For assessment year 2023, the previous year is 21-22. From this 21-22, you are supposed to come to last 4 years. That begins from 17-18. One question from my side is that suppose section 61A says 182 days or more. What happened if this is a leap year? Suppose this is a leap year, then Last leap year was 2019-20. Suppose we are discussing about 2019-20, then whether since 1920 was a leap year, can we say that instead of 365 days, there was 360 days in the year? In this scenario, can we instead of 182, can we make it 183 days or not? Any idea? Be careful, dear friends, whether the year of 365 days or 360 days, 366 days, this will be fixed. 182 days is supposed to be followed. 60 days is supposed to be followed with 60 days. 365 days is supposed to be followed with 365 days. This is irrespective of number of days in the year. Is it clear? Got it? Any question? Now, another part is if an Indian citizen living India during the previous year as a member of a crew of an Indian ship, crew means as a staff of an Indian ship. If you are working an Indian ship as an staff, you left India because the ship is going to London, that in this scenario, section 61C is not applicable. Clear? Now, another part. This one is little bit tricky due to certain modification made in this in previous financial year. An Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin, Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin who normally resides outside India comes on a visit to India during the previous year. If this is the situation, then section 61C is not applicable. What is the situation? Suppose Alan Mittal. You heard about this name? Lakshmi Nivas Mittal. He is an industrialist, iron and steel king. He is an Indian person, generally reside outside India. Now, since he wants to visit India just for vacation, he came India and stay in his village and left India for his permanent resident, which is located outside India. Since he is an Indian citizen, if he is an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin, he generally resides outside India and came to India for visit purpose. Came to India for visit purpose for a couple of days or couple of months. It's hardly matter. If this is the situation, then section 61C is not applicable. Only if this person is treated as a resident only if he is satisfied section 61A. What is section 61A? 182 days or more during the particular previous year. Clear? Sir, what is the meaning of person of Indian origin? We don't know. We don't know what is the meaning of person of Indian origin. Act is here. The person of Indian origin means if he, either of his parents or grandparents were born in undivided India. He, suppose Mr. X, we are discussing about Mr. X, that means he, his parents, that means his father or mother, or their grandmother, they may be paternal or maternal. If either of these person, he, his parents or his grandparents born in undivided India, then that person, that means Mr. X, is treated as a person of Indian origin. Sir, what is the meaning of undivided India? Before partition, India includes here Pakistan and here Bangladesh. This will be treated as undivided India. Okay, that means person himself, either of his parents or grandparents, maternal or paternal, born into undivided India, then Mr. X shall be treated as person of Indian origin. Is it clear? Try to understand the difference. What is the difference? In this exceptional situation, person of Indian origin was used. In these exceptional situation, person of Indian origin is not there. This one is not there. Be careful, be specific. In for first two exception, person should be an Indian citizen, and in this situation, this exceptional case, person may be an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin. Is it clear? Any question? Any question till now? Clear? Someone again and again asking that is it compulsory to learn all the section? For the purpose of residential status, it is fine. You should aware about the section. Please don't mention wrong section number into the exam. Someone is saying that अगर कोई section 6(1) के अंदर आता है but उसने कोई भी income नहीं कमाई है. We will discuss about this part afterward. Is it clear? Now, we have exception to this rule. We have exception to this one. Exception of exception. Where modified section 6(1)(c) is applicable. What is this? In this situation, this one, a person of Indian citizen or person of Indian origin. This is an exception to section 6(1)(c). We have some modified version of this provision. What is this? In case of an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin who comes on a visit to India during the previous year, modified condition number 2 of section 6(1), that is section 6(1)(c) is applicable. What is the modified situation? If his total income other than the income from foreign sources exceeds rupees 15 lakh during the previous year, then if he is in India for a period of 120 days or more, but less than 182 days plus 365 days or more, then he will be treated as a person of, he will be treated as a resident in India. What is this? They make it something complicated. What is this? Suppose Mr. X is a person of Indian origin. Okay. He visit India. He generally reside outside India. Came to India for a visit. Okay. He was in India for 10 days. It hardly matter to us. He is treated as a non-resident. Now, if suppose he was in India for 65 days, we are supposed to check whether section 6(1)(a) or section 6(1)(c) is fulfilled or not. In this situation, he is not satisfying section 6(1)(a). Now we are supposed to examine whether section 6(1)(c) is applicable or not. In general, Section 61C is not applicable because he is a person of Indian origin, he resides outside India and came to India for visit purpose only for 65 days. Section 61C is not applicable. In this situation, Section 61C is not applicable. Now, if he was in India for 125 days, this is the first year in which he came to India and only for 125 days. Now we are supposed to examine what will be his income, excluding his income from foreign sources. What is his income excluding income from foreign sources? If it is more than 15 lakh, not more than 15 lakh. Which income? Suppose his total income is 50 lakh. However, out of this 50 lakh, his income from foreign sources, income from foreign source is in here, it is 10, and in this case might be 40. Since in our first case, his income from foreign source is 10 and his income, total income is 50 lakh. 50 lakh minus for 10 lakh comes to 40 lakh. That means we can say that his income is more than 15 lakh. His number of stays in India is more than 120 days. And in this situation, we are supposed to find out his stay in India for last 4 preceding previous year. If he was in India for 365 days plus 122 days or more during the particular previous year, plus his income other than income from foreign sources exceeds 15 lakh, he is treated as a resident in India. In this situation, another situation, this one, since his foreign income is 40, total income is 50 lakh, his income does not exceed 15 lakh, henceforth we will consider this fellow as a non-resident. Got it? What is the situation? Section 61C, third number exception, a person of Indian origin or an Indian citizen comes to India on a visit purpose. We are supposed to examine whether his income, excluding income from foreign sources, exceeds rupees 15 lakh during the particular previous year. If it exceeds 15 lakh and his stay in India during that particular previous year is for 120 days or more, but less than 182 days, and last 4 preceding previous year his stay in India for 365 days or more, then that fellow is considered as a resident in India. And if his income does not exceed 15 lakh, then Section 61C is not applicable in this case. Is it clear? Any question? Any question? Crew means staff member of Indian ship. That means in nutshell, applicability of Section 61C. In general, Section 61C says 60 days plus 365 days. Okay. There are few exceptions. Exception number 1, for employment. You are living in India. You are an Indian citizen. You are living in India for employment. And number 2, you are living in India. You are an Indian citizen living in India for as a crew member of an Indian ship. And then comes to visit purpose. Number 3rd exception. This is divided into 2 parts. What will be your income other than foreign income? If it exceeds 15 lakh, then this will be revised. Instead of 60 plus 365, instead of 60 plus 365, it will be read as 120 plus 365. Okay, if does not exceed 15 lakh, then section 6(1)(c) is not applicable at all. Is it clear? In general, section 6(1)(c) says that it is 60 days plus 365 days. In this situation, section 6(1)(c) says that if you are an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin, generally you reside outside India, you came here for visit purpose, your foreign income, your income excluding foreign income, your income excluding foreign income is more than 15 lakh, then section 6(1)(c) is applicable with revised number of days. What is the number of days? Instead of 60 days, it will be 120 days plus 365 days clause is applicable. If this is not the case, then section 6(1)(c) is not applicable. Is it clear? Clear? Is it clear? Now, deemed resident. This one is another angle which was provided into the chapter by Finance Act 2020. That is deemed resident, section 6, subsection 1A. What is it? An individual shall be deemed to be resident in India if following conditions are satisfied. He is a citizen of India. Be careful, person of Indian origin is not covered in section 6, subsection 1A. He is a citizen of India. His total income other than income from foreign sources exceeds rupees 15 lakh during the previous year. We know that thing. What is it? He is not satisfying any of the basic condition given under section 6(1), that is 182 days or 60 plus 365 days. And he is not liable to pay tax in any other country, then we will treat that fellow as our resident person. Is it clear? If you are a citizen of India, your total income excluding your foreign income exceeds 15 lakh. You are not satisfying any of the basic condition, that is 180 days clause or 60 plus 365 days clause, and you are not paying tax to any country, then we will treat you as our resident and you are supposed to pay some tax to us. Is it clear? Got it? Clear? Repeating, this is another provision where you may be treated as a resident. This is another new angle where you may be treated as a resident person, that is deemed resident. Irrespective of number of stay in India during the previous year, this provision is said if the conditions of this provisions are satisfied, then you will be treated as a resident in India. You will be deemed as a resident in India. What is it? Are you a citizen of India? Answer is yes. Your total income excluding foreign income exceeds rupees 15 lakh. Yes. You are not satisfying any of the conditions given under section 6(1), that is 182 days or 60 days plus 365 days criteria. Yes. And You are not liable to pay tax in any country due to any reason. If the answer to all this question is yes, then we will treat you as a deemed resident in India. Please pay tax to us. Since you are a citizen of India, you are not paying tax to any country. Please pay certain tax to us. Got it? Now, there are situation is like this. 2 years ago, these provisions was not there. Now they are incorporated. Section 6(1) say A 182 days or more. C, B is not there, C is there. 60 days plus 365 days. Okay. This one have few exception. Employment as a crew of Indian ship. This one is not applicable, not applicable. And if you are a person of Indian citizen or person of Indian origin, then check whether your income from other than foreign sources exceeds 15 lakh. This condition will be now like this one. If your income does not exceed 15 lakh, is below 15 lakh or up to 15 lakh, then 6(1)(c) is not applicable. Now, over and above, one more thing was incorporated. You are an Indian citizen. Income exceeds 15 lakh. You are not satisfying any of the condition given under section 6(1). This one not satisfying. This one is okay. You are Indian citizen and you are not paying to any other country. If these conditions are fulfilled, you will be treated as a resident in India, though your stay in India is only for 0 days, only for 1 day, or only for 20 days. You will be treated as deemed as a resident in India. Clear? Whether you came to India for visit purpose, not came to India, you will be treated as a resident in India. Clear? Any question? Any query till now? Deemed मतलब हिंदी में अगर बोले जबरदस्ती. Someone is saying that for what is the foreign source? If a person worked for a company in a foreign, for a company in foreign, will it be considered as foreign source? Yes, if you're working outside India and you are earning salary income, it is your income from foreign source. One example, Miss Pearl, an Indian citizen, left India for first time on 1st April 2021 for joining job in Tokyo. She came to India on 11th January 2022 for only 170 days. Determine her residential status for previous year 21-22. What will be her residential status? Any idea? Any idea? Can we say that she will be treated as non-resident or resident? What is your conclusion? Let's examine. During the particular previous year, how many days he was in India? In India during the previous year 21-22. Since he left India on 1st April, that day will be counted. That will be considered. And he again came to India on 11th January 2022. In the month of January 22, she was in India for 21 days. Feb 28 days, for March 31 days, since she was in India for 170 days. So remaining days 30, 31, 29 altogether 90 plus 80 becomes 170 days. Since she is an Indian citizen, left India for joining job, that is for employment purpose, henceforth can we say that section 6(1)(c) is not applicable on her? We are supposed to just examine section 6(1)(a). What is section 6(1)(a)? She should be in India for 182 days or more. She is in India only for 81 days. She was in India only for 81 days. Hence, she is not considered as a resident. She is a non-resident in India for this particular year. Is it clear? Now, could you help me if instead of 170 days, if there is a 200 days, then what will be her residential status? Instead of 170 days, she was in India for 200 days on from 11th January 2022. What will be her residential status? Any idea? Any thought? If she came for 200 days, then also she will be non-resident. Why are you consider that lady as a resident? She is still a not resident. Some people are saying that since she was 200 days, she will be treated as a resident. Be careful, dear friends. वो साल दूसरा था and ये साल दूसरा है. In any scenario, whether she was in India for 200 days or whatever number of days, here this 81 is freezed. There might be some number of days might be increased over here, but we are discussing about previous year 21-22. For the previous year 21-22, this number of days are freezed. Section 6(1)(a), she is not satisfying section 6(1)(a), henceforth she is treated as non-resident. Though in 22-23, what will be her tax status? That is another issue. The extra 30 days will be increased over here. It will not affect these 81 days. Be careful. Don't jump into conclusions so early. Just saying 200 days, she is a resident. It's not like this. साल दूसरा है, ये साल दूसरा है and वो साल दूसरा है. It might be a different year. It's this 200 days journey is divided into 2 years. Is distributed in 2 years. So she may take benefit of these things. And in this case also she will be treated as a non-resident in India. Got it? Any question? Few people are saying that she is a resident in case of 200 days. Now I think it is clear to you. She is a non-resident. 81 days is fixed. यहाँ कोई महीना थोड़ी बढ़ेगा. Here we cannot increase number of days. This 81 days is fixed. If she is for 200 days from 11th January, then number of days will be increased over here. Now, once you are considered as a resident in India, if you considered as a resident in India, then it is further classified as an ordinary resident or not ordinary resident. That means an individual is said to be a resident or a non-resident. An individual is said to be a resident or a non-resident. When we will treat that person as a resident, we know that thing. If that person is a resident, if that individual is resident, then he is further classified as an ordinary resident and not ordinary resident. Sir, what is it? To become an ordinary resident, an individual is supposed to satisfy dual condition of section 6(6). To become an ordinary resident in India, he is supposed to satisfy dual condition given under section 6(6). What are these conditions? Sir, can we say that a person is a non-resident person, but he is an ordinary resident? Non-resident but ordinary resident, is it possible? No, it is not possible. This sub-classification is possible only in case you are considered as a resident. That is basic condition, one of the basic condition you fulfilled, or you are a deemed resident. Clear? Now, how to become an ordinary resident? How a resident person become an ordinary resident? The criteria is given under section 6(6). Here, both condition you are supposed to satisfy. What are the condition? In 7 preceding previous year, you stay in India for 730 days or more. In earlier, we know that for 4 preceding previous year, there was 365 days. Now here they are saying that in 7 preceding previous year, you are in India for 730 days. What will be the 7 preceding previous year? Suppose your previous year is 2021-22. If this is your previous year, immediately 7 preceding years is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of this 7 preceding previous year, if you are in India for 730 days or more, then we can conclude that this criteria is fulfilled. For whom you are supposed to examine this criteria? Only for resident individual. If a person is a non-resident individual, this study is complete for that person. Got it? If you are an individual, if you are a resident person, then only you just examine whether you are an ordinary resident or not. For to become an ordinary resident, section 6(6). Number 1 criteria, in 7 preceding previous year, you should be in India for 730 days or more. And that means here you are supposed to satisfy both conditions. The words are and. 10 preceding previous year, you are resident for at least 2 years. In this 10 years, in this 10 preceding previous year, your year is 2001-22. In this 10 immediately preceding year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. During this last 10 preceding previous year, if you were a resident, then at least for 2 times, then we considered you as this criteria is fulfilled. How to become a resident in the last 10 years? Just by satisfying section 6(1), either of the condition given under section 6(1). If you are satisfying any of the condition mentioned under section 6(1) in this number of years, if the result is 2 times, then we will consider you are a resident. You satisfied this criteria. For example, you are a resident person. In this last 7 years, you were in India, say 800 days. And in this year, you are resident. In this year, you are non-resident. Here also you are non-resident. Here non-resident, 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 non-resident. You were resident here, non-resident, non-resident. Out of these 10 years, how many times you got R? How many times you got R? How I determined this R? This fellow satisfied section 6(1), any of the condition given under section 6(1) in this year. He became R. In this year, he was not NR. In this year, NR, 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 here R, here NR, NR. Out of these 10 years, how many times he got R? If the result is 2 or more, then we consider he also satisfied this condition. That means he is a resident. His stay in India during 7 preceding previous year exceeds 730 days or more. Yes, here it is. Answer is yes. Out of 10, he got 2R. This condition is also satisfied. That means this plus this section 6.6 is fulfilled. He is treated as an ordinary resident. If these conditions, any of these conditions is not fulfilled, if any of the condition is not fulfilled, then he is treated as a resident, but not ordinary resident. If any of the condition mentioned under section 6.6 is not fulfilled, then that resident individual shall be treated as a resident, but not ordinary resident. Got it? Any question, any query? Is it clear to you? Someone is saying that why 2 times? Why not 10 times? Why not 8 times? That is the law. Okay. If suppose I am used to give an example in my classes that suppose on 18th, after completion of your 18th years of age, you became a major and you can sign any document, you can take your decision. Can I say that when your age was 17 years 364 days, you are not a smart person, and in the night of 365th days of after 17th year 365 days, one Lord Ganesha came in front of you and you became a smart person, and on the very next day you are able to sign your documents, you are able to take your decision. Is it so? Sir, this type of question may arise if this limit was 18 years or might be 20 years. Why 20 years? Why 25? Why this type of situation may arise. So we are supposed to conclude 18 or 20, whatever the age for become my major. We are supposed to whatever law says, we are supposed to accept that thing. Yeah. Now next, exceptions. There are so many exceptions. There are 2 exceptions in this part. An individual shall be deemed to be resident but not ordinary resident in India if following conditions are satisfied. What are these? He is a citizen of India. His total income other than income from foreign sources exceeds rupees 15 lakh. He is not liable to pay tax in any other country. He is deemed to be a resident in India under section 6(1)(a). What is it? We learned about deemed resident. We learned about deemed resident under section 6(1)(a). If a person is a deemed resident, then though he is a resident person, you are not supposed to examine this condition 6.6. You are not supposed to examine section 6.6. If a person is deemed as a resident by virtue of section 6(1)(a), then he will be treated as a resident but not ordinary resident. He will be treated as a resident but not ordinary resident. Clear? Number 2. An individual shall be deemed to be resident but not ordinary resident if he fulfills following condition. He is an Indian citizen or person of Indian origin. He comes to on a visit to India during the previous year. His total income, excluding foreign income, exceeds rupees 15 lakh during the previous year. We know about this situation. I think we already discussed about this situation. He is in India for a period of 120 days or more, but less than 182 days and 365 days or more during 4 preceding previous year. We know about this thing. This is the exception to section 6(1)(c) and uska bhi exception. If you are treated as a resident due to this criteria, then you are treated as a resident but not ordinary resident in India. You are not treated as an ordinary resident in India. You are treated as a not ordinary resident in India. Is it clear to you? Is it clear? Right now, people, please don't post this type of question. If my business now, At present, you are not aware what will the impact of your residential status. Right now, just focus on how to determine residential status. Don't apply what happened, my business income was there, what will be there. Don't do that thing. We will discuss about all this thing, but on later half. Okay. Is it clear till now? Now there is one illustration, one example. There are so many cases. In case A, the citizenship. In case Mr. A, an individual, he is a foreign citizen, he have foreign citizenship. Is a person of Indian origin? Yes. His total income exceeds rupees 15 lakh? Yes. Is liable to pay tax in other country? No. Stay in India during the previous year 30 days only. Stay in India during 4 years immediately preceding previous year 380 days. Dual conditions of section 6 is fulfilled. What will be his residential status? What will be his residential status? Any idea? His residential status is non-resident. Why non-resident? Any question? Any thought? Why he is a non-resident? Now, look. First of all, check in general sense. His stay in India during the previous year was only for 30 days. Can we say that he is neither satisfying section 6(1)(a) nor section 6(1)(c)? For section 6(1)(a), he is supposed to be stay in India 182 days or more during the previous year. And for section 6(1)(c), he is supposed to stay in India at least for 60 days or more during the previous year. He is not satisfying either of the given situation. Now comes to deemed resident clause. What is the deemed resident clause? The person should be an Indian citizen. Here, a person is not an Indian citizen. Here, a person is not an Indian citizen. Okay. Now come to exception to rule section 6(1)(c). What is the exception? He is a person of Indian origin. Yes. His income exceeds 15 lakh. Yes. Liable to pay in other country? No. He is satisfying all this criteria of this part. This one. He is a person of Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin. He comes to India for visit purpose. In this situation, his income exceeds 15 lakh. In this situation, instead of 60 days, we are supposed to examine 120 days or more. However, that fellow was in India only for 30 days. Can we say that neither section 6(1) nor their exceptions nor deemed resident that is covered under section 6(1)(a) are applicable? Henceforth, this person is a non-resident. Is it clear? Is it clear? Now comes to B. Citizenship, India. Is he person of Indian origin? Yes. Total income exceeds 15 lakh other than foreign income? No. Liable to pay tax in other country? No. Number of days in India 30. Last 4 years 380 days. Dual conditions are satisfied, that is 730 days plus 2 out of 10. Yes. Since section 6(1) is not fulfilled, deeming provision is not fulfilled because his income does not exceed 15 lakh. Henceforth, his residential status is only of non-resident. Clear? Now came to C. His citizenship is in India. Person of Indian origin? Yes. Total income excluding foreign source income exceeds 15 lakh? Yes. Liable to pay tax in other country? No. Stay in India 30 days. Stay in India during 4 years immediately preceding previous year 380 days. Dual conditions are satisfied? Yes. Now, whether he is a resident or a non-resident. Sir, he is not satisfying any of the condition given under section 6.1. Since his stay was only for 30 days, he is not satisfying section 6.1a, that is 182 days criteria. 60 plus 365 days criteria is not applicable, though his income is more than 15 lakh, but he is not in India for 122 days or more. Henceforth, these conditions are not fulfilled. However, the deeming provision, that is a deemed resident, is applicable. What is a deemed resident? He is an Indian citizen. His income exceeds 15 lakh. Yes, he is not paying any tax to any other country. Whatever the number of days he stay in India, he will be treated as a resident in India. If a person is treated as a resident in India just due to section 6.1a, that is the deeming provision, he will always treated as a not ordinary resident. Though he satisfied section 6.6, it is not of any use, since he is a deemed resident person. He is treated as a not ordinary resident. Now come to next, citizenship India. Person of Indian origin, yes. Total income exceeds 15 lakh, yes. Liable to pay tax in other country, yes. Stay in India 30. Sir, please don't go ahead. We got the solution. He is paying tax in another country. His stay in India is only for 30 days. He is treated as non-resident. Now come to next one. Foreign citizenship. Person of Indian origin, yes. Total income exceeds 15 lakh, yes. Liable to pay tax in other country, no. Stay in India 138 days, 380 days. Dual conditions are satisfied, yes. Now, he is not satisfying section 6.1a. However, exception. What is the exception? Whether he is a person of Indian origin, he comes to India for visit purpose. His income from income other than income from foreign sources exceeds 15 lakh. Liable to pay tax in other country, no. And number of stay in India more than 122 days, but less than 182 days. Henceforth, can we say that he is satisfying the condition? He is satisfying the condition, that is the exception to section 6.1c and modified conditions of section those exception. Henceforth, he is a resident. If the person is a resident just due to this criteria, then he will always treated as a not ordinary resident. Next one, citizenship foreign. Is a person of Indian origin, yes. Total income exceeds 15 lakh, yes. Liable to pay tax in other country, no. Stay in India during the previous year 185 days. Sir, don't go ahead. Since he is here for 182 days or more, he is a resident in India. And further, he is also satisfying dual condition of section 6.6. He is a resident and ordinary resident in India. Next one, India is a person of Indian origin, yes. 15 lakh, no, it does not exceed 15 lakh. Now just go for this one, 85. 60 plus 60 plus 365. 60 plus 365. Satisfied or not? Sir, he is a person of Indian origin. He visit to India. In this situation, section 6.1c is not applicable. Henceforth, he is a non-resident person. Last one, foreign. Is a person of Indian origin? No. Total income exceeds? No. Liable to pay tax in other country? No. His stay in India during the previous year is for 85 days. Stay in India during 4 years immediately preceding previous year 380 days. Satisfied dual condition of section 6.6. He is a resident and ordinary resident. Why he is considered, but why not G? In case of H, the person is not a foreign citizen, is not an Indian citizen, nor a person of Indian origin. That means exception to section 6.1c is not applicable. Clear? Any question? Any query? Any question? Now, next. This one is an illustration. Please give me your answer. Miss Monica, a foreign national comes India every year for 90 days since 2005-6. Determine her residential status for the previous year 21-22. What will be her residential status? Any thought? We'll explain afterwards. Okay. Someone is saying that what is the difference between G and H? In G, in case number G, he is a person of Indian city. He is an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin. And here, in case of H, he is neither Indian citizen nor a person of Indian origin. That means in case of H, exception to section 6(1)(c) is not applicable. Section 6(1)(c) is satisfied. 85, that is 60 days or more, and more than 365 days or more, and our dual conditions are satisfied. Henceforth, he is a resident and ordinary resident. Now comes to this one. Here, she comes for 90 days since 2005-6. So what will be her residential status? Any solution? First one, Ashira is saying, Athira is saying that she is a non-resident. Why non-resident? Very simple. She is very correct. Athira is correct. Section 6(1)(a, examine section 6(1)(a. He is only for 90 days. Not satisfied. Section 6(1)(c. She is a foreign national person. 60 plus 365. Here it is yes, plus here it is no. Hence, this one is not satisfied. Why no? 90 into 4 comes to 360 only. Okay. In case of number 2, will your answer differ if she comes India for 100 days instead of 90 days every year? Yes, my answer will differ. Now, she is 60 plus 400 days. So she became resident. If she became resident, then we are supposed to check whether she is an ordinary resident or not ordinary resident. Okay, how we will determine? First of all, we are supposed to examine whether number of days her stay in India for last 7 preceding previous year. 7 into 100 comes to 700 only. It is not 730 or more. So this one is not satisfied. Her residential status is not ordinary resident. Clear? Now comes to third one, 110 days. Section 6(1)(c) fulfilled. She is a resident person. Now 110 into 7, 770 days. One criteria is fulfilled. Section 6(6). First one is fulfilled. Now comes to second one. 10/2. If she is a resident in first year due to 110 days, can I presume that she is a resident? She is also satisfying this condition for so many years. So she is also satisfying this one. Hence, she is a resident and ordinary resident. Clear? When you are saying that if an individual is a resident, don't stop here. Just clear whether she is a resident and ordinary resident or she is a resident but not ordinary resident. You are supposed to, if an individual is a resident, be specific whether she is ordinary or not ordinary. You are supposed to drill down. Okay. Now next. Now, determination of residential status of HUF. How residential status of HUF shall be determined? Individual, we now comes to know. In case of HUF, HUF is divided into two parts, that is resident and not non-resident. If HUF is said to be resident if the control and management of its affairs is wholly or partly located in India, then that HUF is treated as a resident. And if the control and management of that HUF is wholly located outside India, then that HUF is treated as a non-resident. If a HUF is treated as a resident HUF, then it is further divided into ordinary resident or not ordinary resident. How to determine whether the HUF is a ordinary resident or not ordinary resident? In this situation, we are supposed to check the residential, the number of stay of Mr. Karta of HUF. The Karta, the residential status of we are supposed to examine number of days, how many number of days Karta of this HUF was in India. Whether the Karta of HUF satisfying section 6.6, dual condition of section 6.6, then that HUF, that resident HUF shall be treated as an ordinary resident. Otherwise, that HUF will be treated as not ordinary resident. Got it? I am repeating. If an HUF control and management of that HUF is wholly or partly located in India, that HUF is treated as resident in India. Otherwise, it will be treated as a non-resident. Resident HUF is supposed to be ordinary resident or not ordinary resident. If the Karta of the HUF, that is Hindu undivided family, is satisfying dual condition prescribed under section 6.6, then that resident HUF is treated as ordinary resident. Otherwise, that resident HUF is treated as not ordinary resident. Clear? Now next, company. Company is divided into two parts, an Indian company and other. Indian company means a company which is incorporated as per, in general, Indian company means a company which is incorporated as per Indian company laws. Each and every Indian company is treated as a resident in India without any rider, without any condition. Each and every Indian company is treated as a resident in India. Other than Indian company, that means a non-Indian company is said to be a resident in India if the effective place of effective management is in India. If the place of effective management is located in India during that particular year, that non-Indian company is also considered as a resident. Otherwise, this type of company, if this is not in India, then this type of company is considered as a non-resident. Got it? That means Indian company always resident. Other than Indian company, if the place of effective management is located in India for this particular year, then that non-Indian company is said to be a resident. If the place of effective management is not located in India, then that non-Indian company is considered as a non-resident company. What is the meaning of place of effective management? Means the place where the key management and commercial decisions are required to be taken, where board meetings are supposed to be handled. Got it? Last one, determination of residential status of one more thing. A resident company is not further subdivided into ordinary or not ordinary resident. Ordinary or not ordinary resident. The concept of ordinary resident and not ordinary resident is applicable only in case of individual and HUF. A company, a partnership firm, an AOP, BOI, etc. are either resident or non-resident. It is not further subdivided into ordinary or not ordinary. Got it? Now, other person, that is firm and other person, is said to be resident if control and management of their affairs wholly or partly situated in India, then these firm or other person is treated as resident. Otherwise, these person are treated as a non-resident. As I already said, a resident partnership firm is not further drilled down as an ordinary or not ordinary. Any question till now? Till now? Someone is saying that company may be MNC. Why you are thinking like this? MNC, not multinational. If a company is an Indian company, that company is a resident. If a company is a non-Indian company, their place of effective management is located in India, that company is a resident in India. Otherwise, that company is treated as a non-resident in India. Okay. In case of HUF, if control and management of their affairs is wholly or partly located in India, that HUF is resident. Otherwise, that HUF is non-resident. If the Karta of a resident HUF satisfied the condition given under section 6.6, we already know what is the section 6.6, 7 years, 730 days, 2/10 rule. If these dual conditions are satisfied by a Karta of a resident HUF, then that HUF is treated as a resident and ordinary resident. Otherwise, it will be treated as a not ordinary resident. Okay. Now, impact of residential status. Keep into your mind, in case of resident and ordinary resident, in case of a resident and ordinary resident, if you are earning from Jupiter or you are earning from Mars, income will be taxable in India. You are liable to pay certain amount of tax to Indian government. This is the thumb rule. What is the rule? If you are a resident and ordinary resident, you are earning from anywhere, whether it is from Mars, whether it is from Venus, whether it is from Saturn or from any other planet, your income will be taxable in India. In case of non-resident, the income which is received in India or which is accrued in India, arise or accrued in India, this type of income shall be taxable in India. In general, each and every income have two legs. First one is arise, that may be termed as accrue or deemed to accrue. Number one is receipt or deemed receipt. Every income have two legs. One is accrual and another one is receipt. Either of the leg, if any of the leg is located in India, then it will be taxable in India. If none of the leg is located in India, then it will be not taxable in India in case of non-resident. In case of resident and ordinary resident, income from Jupiter is also taxable. Don't think about this accrual or receipt. You are not supposed to think about all these things. If you are a resident and ordinary resident, just whatever be your income, it will be taxable in India. If in other case, you are supposed to analyze each and every income have two legs. One is accrual and one is receipt. If any of the leg is in India, that means if income is accrued in India or income is first received in India, if either of the leg is located into India, it will be taxable in India, whatever be your residential status. And if neither of the leg is located in India, then it will be not taxable in hands of non-resident. Is it clear to you? Sir, one more thing is there, that is not ordinary resident. What will be the difference? We will discuss about that thing. Number one, income either accrued or deemed to be accrued or received or deemed to be received in India. It will be taxable across the board, whatever be your residential status. Since one leg is located in India, it will be taxable in India. Don't think about don't think anything about this thing. It will be taxable in India. Income accrued and received outside India. Income accrued and received outside India. That means both the leg are located outside India from a business which is controlled from India, from a business controlled in or profession set up in India. If you are earning certain income from a business which is controlled from India, though your receipt or accrual was out of India, if you are a not ordinary resident, it will be taxable in India. This is the only exceptional situation. Suppose you reside in London. Here is a company, say Reliance Industries Limited. Here is a company, say Reliance Industries Limited. You are in the payroll of Reliance Industries Limited. It's not on the payroll. You are providing certain, you are doing business on behalf of Reliance Industries Limited and you are located in London. Your residential status is not ordinary resident. Now, since you are earning income from Reliance Industries Limited and your status is not ordinary resident, whatever be your income, this income will be taxable in India. And if you are a not resident, then since your income was accrued outside India, received outside India, it will be not taxable in India. And if you are a resident and ordinary resident, don't think what is your location, what is your situation, it will be taxable. Got it? In case of ordinary resident, don't think anything. Whatever you earned during the previous year, even from Jupiter, even from Venus, it will be taxable in India. If you are a not ordinary resident and your earning is from a business which is controlled from India or from a profession which is set up in India, then that receipt is taxable in India. Otherwise, all receipts which do not have any leg into India will not be taxable in your hand. Now I think entire table is clear to you. Any question? Any question? Any question from the class which we did? Don't go beyond that part. We will discuss one by one. Okay. Any question from from this table, incidence of tax? Now think about your earlier question. Why Bill Gates will liable to pay tax in India? What is the residential status of Bill Gates? He is a not resident. He is a non-resident. Now think about Bill Gates. In very earliest, you people raise this type of question. Bill Gates is a non-resident. Whatever he's earning, if the income is accrued in India, accrued or received in India, it will be taxable in India. Other income will not be taxable in India. Got it? And what happened if this one is for Vikas Mundra and he is a resident and ordinary resident? Income taxable, other income will be taxable. Got it? That is one illustration. Ram provides following details of income. Calculate the income which is liable to be taxed in India for the assessment year 2022-23, assuming that he is an ordinary resident, he is not an ordinary resident, he is a non-resident. Salary received from and former employer of UK, 1,40,000. In case of ordinary resident, it will be taxable. it will be taxable. Whatever be his income, it will be taxable in India. Here, I think it is better. Salary received in India. Since salary is received in India, one leg of the transaction is located in India. It will be taxable across the board. 140, 140, 140. It will be taxable in all type of category. Income from tea business in Nepal being controlled from India. In case of ordinary resident, don't think anything, it will be taxable. In case of not ordinary resident, we discussed about exceptional situation. If you are earning from a business which is controlled from India, then that type of income shall be taxable in your hand. In case of non-resident, since business is located outside India, receipt of income is also located outside India, your income will not be taxable. Interest on company deposit in Canada, 1/3 received in India. If this income is received in India, this part will be taxable in India across the board. 2/3 received outside India. This income is received outside India. ROR, in case of resident and ordinary resident, you are not supposed to apply anything. This will be taxable. In case of other category, it will not be taxable. Profit from business in Mumbai controlled from UK. Since business itself is located in Mumbai, that means income is accrued or arising from India. It will be taxable across the board. 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh. Past profit from business in Tokyo remitted to India. Since it is a not profit earned during the particular previous year, it will not taxable in this year. Income from a property in India but received in USA. Since property is located in India, that means income is accruing or arising from India. It will be taxable across the board. Income from a property in London but received in Delhi. Since property is located in London, that means income is accruing or arising outside India, but since it is received in Delhi, that means one leg of the transaction is located in India, it will be taxable across the board. Income from a property in London but received in Canada. So now in this situation, the accrual of income is from London and receipt is in Canada. Both are outside India. In this situation, this is taxable in hands of ordinary resident. Other two category, it is not taxable. In case of ordinary resident, even income is from Jupiter, it will be taxable. Income from a business in Zambia but controlled from Turkey. Since business is located outside India, control is also located outside India. In these two category, it will be not taxable. However, in case of resident and ordinary resident, it will be taxable. Altogether, this will how we calculate our income. Got it? Any question? Someone is asking that what is the meaning of accrual? Accrual means the income arise from where? For our example, in this example, the income from a property in India. Since property is located in India, that means whatever we are earning, it is arising from India. It is arising from India. That means this income is taxable in India. If the property is located outside India, we can say that the income is not accruing or arising from India. If you are a salaried person and due to this job, you are in India and you are under Indian payroll, that means you are earning income from India. Got it? Receipt. What is the meaning of receipt? That is the first receipt. Suppose you are working in London, your employer in London paid you in London and you remitted that money to your home for your day-to-day expenditure to your parents. Can we say that this receipt was this income is received in India? No. Where you first received, where you first got your money, that was in that is in London. That means the first receipt was outside India. Since you are employed outside India, this income is neither accrued nor received in India. If you are a not ordinary resident, or not a ordinary resident or non-resident, then this income is not taxable in your hand. Got it? Any other question? Sir, could you please suggest reference book of direct taxation? I believe our study material, which is prepared by me only, I think it is a good one. Sir, if all conditions are satisfied but income does not exceed 15 lakh, can a person said resident and ordinary resident? Yes, a person can be. A person can be said as a resident and ordinary resident. These notes, these slides I will upload on my site ecoursepoint.com. Only view, no download. Someone is saying that why always OR, that is ordinary resident, have to pay tax. Sir, you government is providing more facilities to you. Bill Gates is using these roads more, or you? Give the answer. What is second case? I don't understand. Someone is saying that, sir, what about the person non-resident is already paying tax in his country? In this situation, there may be scenario may arise that where you are paying double taxation. One in a country where you are resides and again in the country where you earned. In this situation, there is a section called 1991 is there for double taxation avoidance agreement. Unfortunately, that is not in your syllabus of intermediate, but it will be covered in final. So what about salary earned outside India sent to parent in is that taxable? Obviously not. If your status is not ordinary resident or not resident, then it will not be taxable. Since it is first receipt outside India and it is accrued outside India, it will be not taxable. However, if you are an ordinary resident, it will be taxable. I think it will be uploaded in next week. Is the institute book currently on site is applicable for June 2022? Just check the edition. If it is for edition January 2022, then it will be applicable. I think it will be uploaded, or if not, then it will be uploaded in subsequent week. The material is available on ecoursepoint.com for view. ecoursepoint.com. This one, ecoursepoint.com. ecoursepoint.com. Anything else? Dear sir, why you are asking what is my name? My name is here on entire slides. My name is there. CA Vikas Mundra is there. Okay. Hopefully you enjoy the session. We will meet in on next session with new chapters. Hopefully you enjoy and learn. Try to revise your syllabus. Try to revise whatever you did today and in our last class. Otherwise, it is a very volatile subject. Everything will be vanished from your mind. Okay. Between these 3 or 4 days, you are trying to revise basic concept as well as this residential status. Thank you, sir. Hopefully you enjoy the session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for a wonderful session, sir.
Thank you. Hopefully you enjoy the session.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir. Bye bye, sir. Thank you, students, for participation. Thank you. Good night. Bye.